Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. Round 43 and part 2 with Luke Fash. How are we doing, Mr. Shakespeare?
Yeah, good, buddy, good. We had to get a two-part on it, mate, didn't we?
Oh, we could have got 3, I reckon, if we'd had the time. Yes, so this is part 2. If you've not listened to round 42, which is the first part of Luke's interview, please listen to it. Do you know what? I didn't mention it last intro, but he's so funny. I edited these episodes, and listening back, honestly, cracking me up, he were. Especially that first episode, I promise you, if you've not listened, please go back and listen to it. In fact, if you have listened to it, go back and listen to it again. It's worth it.
Yeah, he's so funny, and he's made some scrapes, this lad, hasn't he, like we all have. It makes us feel human, doesn't it, Scarfe?
It does. It doesn't half, but we'll not keep you any longer. Let's get into part 2. We talk, this is mostly about we'll get back into his record. Like we say, he's had 105 fights up to now, so we've plenty to get through. So we're going to get straight back into it.
Let's go. So, after that then, Luke, mate, I've got one here that you wanted to mention, mate. We've got Sam Larkin.
Yeah, Sam. Well, this was I don't know if I'm going to say it right. It's called Colne.
Colne, yeah, I know.
Yeah, Colne, yeah.
It's just a little, like, Yorkshire stone village. It's not the biggest, I don't think. But I remember, I think I must have been pretty fit for this fight because I was half ready for it. So I was warming up, and even there was, I can't remember who was there, another trainer, but he was like, "Oh, I'm going to watch this fight because he looks ready for this. You want to fight tonight." And I was hitting the pads well, and you know yourself sometimes when you're hitting the pads well and hard and accurate, I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have a go tonight. I'm going to throw some from the lever tonight, and I'm going to take some in the process." So anyway, so we goes out there, and I know there was an hostile crowd before I even got out there because I seen them all in Weatherspoons. So they was all tanked up before they even got there. Do you know? Thankfully, before the fight, they didn't know who I was. I would have got some stick probably because I seen them all, and I was having a pre-fight snap just. Surrounded by them all, and like you said, they was all tanked up, so I reckon I would have got some slaver. So we goes into the fight. Round 1, good. It was a good fight. You know, good 50-50. Second round, I was making him miss, and I was putting my arms out as if to get him on, and every time I was going to my corner, like the crowd was hostile, like they was singing "Oh the Effie you" and all this like football chants, and I was like engaging back with them, so there was bolting right off. And I remember, so the end of the second, going into the third, well, I got out the ropes and I did like a money sign, as if to say, "Do what you want, lads. You're paying my wages." Do you know what I mean?
Naughty Luke.
Oh, they wanted to get in the ring and kill me. Honestly, it was that bad. On the recording on YouTube, because the first, second and fourth rounds on there, but they say we couldn't record the third round due to recording issues. It wasn't. The place went erupted.
There seem to be a lot of these recording issues, isn't there?
Yeah, there definitely is. And obviously it skips to the fourth round. And because I give him some work, I was tired, but I could have got to the end, and I low blowed him. I didn't mean to, but it was a low blow. Oh, and obviously that upset the crowd again. But got through the fight, got to the end. Anyways, I jumped out the ring, got my bag, and I went to my manager, Glenn Banks. I went, "You go get my wages. I'll see you out there." He says, "Well, what you doing?" I says, "Just go and get my wages and I'll be out there." Anyways, he comes back after finding me, and I'm just in the middle of all his fans. So what I'd done is, he said, what the hell are you doing? I said, well, they all wanted to go, so I've just come out to see if anyone's going to do something. But I think they thought I was mental for doing that. And so no one actually did now. And now since that, he always messages me. I think he got blindsided, I believe, and got a bleed on the brain.
Oh,
so
dear.
he's retired now. And I think he does a bit of unlicensed, promoting or some sort of white collar or whatever you want to call it, promoting. And he always rings me up or messages me and says, look, there's 2 VIP tickets. Come down. I've never gone because it's a good drive for me. And to be fair, it's been when I've got to fight myself. Because like you say, if it's a Friday or Saturday, 9 times out of 10, I'm on the road myself. Yeah. But yeah, another one who I've had, and that was a war. And we've become great friends. And what a lovely lad, and it's a shame what happened to him.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to get a message on socials telling me we've done this.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll like to have a little laugh at that story.
Yeah, no, it was. He'll know full well.
Yeah.
Because occasionally, when it pops up in his memory or on his Facebook, he'll always write about the night and what a war it was.
I'll have to look at that on YouTube. I ain't seen that one.
Yeah. I'll send you a link.
Please do, mate. Yeah, it'd be good, that.
Yeah.
And, well, didn't really want to talk about this fight much, mate, but you made me circle it. So we're going to talk about Jamie Whelan.
Yeah, that one, Jamie. Well, I can't remember. I think that was in Scotland, I want to say. Paisley, maybe, or Lagoon or somewhere like is it Brentwood?
Brentwood I've got, yeah. Brentwood Centre.
Right, Brentwood. Well, let's say it was there then.
Yeah.
And I remember being in the changing rooms and everyone talking about, because without being like ignorant or arrogant, I don't generally know what my opponents are called or anything about them because I fight that often. I'll forget the names or names. It could be anyone. Names don't matter to me, so I don't look them up. That's Laura's job or Glenn's job.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had to do it for Glenn, but that's another story, as we was joking about earlier. But what I mean is, so I don't need to worry about that. And I've got a weight to make. I just care about my weight and how much money I'm getting. Yeah. That's the only 2 things I ask. Weight, money. That's all I care about. So I don't care. And it's a pair of trainers if he comes in a little bit heavy.
Yes, lad.
You know what I mean? So I don't care what TV he's got, who his dad is. It's me and him. Do you know what I mean? So I know he's going to be there and I'm going to be there 100%. Yeah. So that's all I care about. But anyway, so I hear this name floating about in the changing rooms. Who's fighting this kickboxing world champion then? Ooh. And I see Glenn is a bit ropey, looking a bit... You all right, mate? Yeah. And he's like, they're on about your opponent. I went, you what? And in Boxing News, he had a bloody 2-page spread. He was a world champion kickboxer. And I thought, oh, God, I thought, that's why you're a bit sheepish. And he's like, well, I didn't know he was that. And another one of Banks's, good spots. So I thought, nice one. I'm in for a tough night here. But because he's come from, and it was his debut, that's why I think he got a big spread and all that malarkey. But because he was a kickboxer, they have like a more square stance. Yeah. Because obviously they need to kick as well. So he want like more side on like us boxers. So the movement isn't as good at first till he adjust. I mean, I don't think he had many fights. I think he might have only had maybe a couple more after me, and I don't know if he's packed it in or it might have been an injury, I'm unsure. But I don't think he's had many fights. But like you said, because he was squared on, it was quite easy to hit. I could just jab and move, and he had to plant his feet to get his shots off. Don't get me wrong, when I stood still and he got his shots off, so I didn't stand still. Do you know what I mean? It was an easy night to consider everyone else was scared and put a bit of fear into me, let's say.
I'm not surprised.
But it turned out to be quite an easy night, and, so, yeah, nice one, Banksy, for that one.
Oh, yeah, but it looked after the end, mate.
Oh, of course he did.
He knew it all along it was going to be an easy night.
Yeah, well, that's it. Maybe he did.
I'm sticking up for Banksy on that one. So, after that one then, mate, I'm going to one here. Andre Grant, sorry.
Yeah, that was another long drive, I believe. I think he must have some Jamaican in him, or because he had Jamaican flag on his shorts. I remember him.
Yeah. What he muscly and strong like?
It was quite well. To be fair, another easy night. I think that was a 6-rounder.
Yeah, because he was 6-0 at the time when you fought him.
Yeah.
I know sometimes recorder for DJs like.
Yeah. Well, it made it easier because, I mean, I shouldn't say, well, I am bothered about saying this, to be fair, but I love it when the crowds get involved.
Yeah.
Because that gives a bit of, like, I don't even care about my opponent. I want to fight them then. So then I just, whoever's in front of me, it's their lad who's going to get the punishment. Because they wind me up, I just take it out on their lad. Do you know, like, I'll look at them while I'm hitting the lad and, you know, as if to say, carry on, and he's going to get a good hard in here. And so... Yeah, I think that was a 6-rounder. I think it was.
56-58.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Close fight.
Yeah, because every time he hit him, another one, he was all right when he's got his work off, but, you know, my shots, and I had him gone in the last round, but obviously not enough time. But it was a good fight, yeah. Again, yeah, but a good lad, you know. But yeah, I definitely earned his respect.
Yeah, I bet you did, mate. Yeah, it was tough. I said
and shut his fans up.
Yeah, 56-58, you definitely gave him for his
he
money,
wasn't happy with that. He wasn't happy with that, if I can remember, shaking his head. But I'm thinking, shaking his head, I shook your head, that's why it was that score.
Correct, mate, yeah. You know. And the referee actually respect to him, gave you something there.
Yeah, exactly. Fight. Well, that's what I mean. It is nice. It is nice to get, you know, realise it is a 2-horse race. You know, and there ain't just one horse in it, let's say.
That's right,
you know.
But the next one I'm going to talk about, mate, I've heard him a few times, cracking record when you took him. You had Zahid Hussain, mate.
Yeah.
15-1 at the time he was.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Hull.
Yeah, in Hull, yeah. So I was in the away corner in Hull.
Again.
Yeah, that was a 6-rounder. I think that was matched at 9 stone 1. Credit to him. Coming... as I think we're weighing exactly the same. Might have been 90 points something each. Was both under the agreed weight, which is a rarity to say they have a 12-week camp and I'm taking it on short notice. But it made the weight. It was in Hull, so I sold a few tickets, got a few extra quid, for a pair of trainers, let's say, because it wasn't for the weight, but... so I had a few family and friends there, which was nice. But it was a tough ask, because I said to Banksy, just get me anyone, get me anyone. And I think he's gone on to have some good fights.
Yeah, I recognise the name.
He's only got one or two losses even now. I think he stepped it up on a Sky or BT show and got beat, but I think it was by a good lad. Yeah.
I thought I recognised the name. That's why I started. Actually.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, mate. It says here, lost TKO against Raza Hamza.
Yeah, that was in
Glasgow.
Yeah, that was in Scotland. That. Yeah. It was just too big. It was too big.
It happens, doesn't it? Sometimes
it was too big. It was too big, and to be fair, he was a good lad. It was just too big, and it wasn't like a stoppage where I was getting thingy. Because it was just that big, it was just jabbing me. I couldn't even get in close, to get my work on. So I think it was just too one-sided. Not that I was getting a good hard in or anything. I just couldn't do anything. And the referee just jumped in. But again, lovely lad, he said, he apologised and said it wasn't a stoppage, I wasn't getting a good hard in. Obviously, I'm guessing he must be religious in some way, because every jab he threw, he shouted something.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but whatever his religion is, it was something along them lines, which I've never had that before. So each to their own, he did what he had to do.
But a great record, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Tough fight then, mate, for you.
Yeah, tough, just the size. But like I say, and that's why I've got my weight down now, and I have got one at super feather, but I've said to Glenn, I want a 9-2 under 9 stone now.
You're learning now as you get. Yeah, you know.
I don't have to take them fights. Sometimes there is nothing, and it's like, look, there's this fight, or there's no fights. And do you know what I mean? It's like, and I don't want to be where I'm a month with no fights in between the year. And so I like being active because it keeps my mind focused, and that's what everybody needs.
Definitely, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. You live and you learn, don't you, mate?
Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Well, that's it. I've took fights I shouldn't have took and stuff like that. Not necessarily because there was hard fights, but weight wise, you know. And I don't need to do them now. I've earned my, you know, spot in the game, and you know, so I'm good.
100%, mate. Yeah. Now moving on to the next fight here, mate. You fought Louis Frimpong on his debut, didn't you?
Yeah, that was it. That fit as a fiddle. Again, I wouldn't say a powerhouse or anything like that, but work rate, bloody hell, he must go to the gym 17 times a day. Do you know? He must go to the gym more times than he work. Something like that, do you know? Because honestly, he's just super fit. But again, credit to him. And I actually said it to him on the scales, coming same as me, exactly the same, below agreed weight. Because I think there was a time where, like about 10 fights, where there was 2 or 3 pounds over, and then he was the first one in a long, long time to come in at agreed weight, and I actually shook his hand and said thank you, because it was his debut, so he got a photo for his social media, and I don't mind doing that. Do you know, it was nice, but I was thanking him to make weight, and I bet he thought, what's he thanking me for? But that to me means the world, because when they don't make weight, I take it personally, like disrespect. Do you know, I've made the weight. I've took it on 24 hours notice, maybe a little bit more, but very rarely back in the day was it more than 24 hours notice. I mean, God, I've been offered, well, it was Charlie Edwards. I got offered him.
Did you?
On the day's notice when he was world champion. They only offered $5,000.
What?
Yeah. live on BT, $5,000, 8 rounds on the day.
No chance.
I said, yeah.
Not a chance.
So yeah.
But credit to Lewis, mate, there.
Yeah. His brother's a boxer as well.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They sound like a very honest professional.
Yeah.
Going to go quite well, mate.
Yeah. Steve Goodwin's got them.
Yes, he has, hasn't he? Good guy as well, Steve.
Lovely.
Yeah, he's invited us down to a couple of shows.
Yeah, I love his shows because I love the London shows.
And he does give your guys a shout out as well, you know. Does Steve. He does like to give the away corner a good shout out as well. Oh, God,
yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like people like Steve. I might fight on his show 10 times a year.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I get a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I build up a good relationship. They know that I'm going to turn up. They know I'm going to make a good account for myself. Do you know, like I was saying to you earlier, there is some away fighters out there where they do go down a little bit too easy. You know, but they know they're going to get the rounds with me.
Yes, definitely.
You know, especially if a fit Luke Fash turns up. Do you know, motivated, fit Luke Fash. Do you know, and they could be in danger as well.
Most certainly, mate. Most certainly. Now, speaking of away fighters, if we didn't give a mention, I think he'd be very upset, wouldn't he? Mr. Sam Melville, twice.
Yeah.
An old skimmer.
Yeah, well, I think he had one fight, and I want to say he either got a draw or lost his
first fight.
Yeah, and I think I was his second fight then, I want to say. One of them lads, a lovely lad. I mean, I boxed him twice. If you know him, like you say you do, you can ask him this. And I'm friends with his mum, let's say. I'm friends with his mum more than him. I wound him up like. So as soon as I've had a fight with him, I always go and see his mum. But the joke is, but bless her, the reason why is because after we had the first fight, she come up to me. Because it's nice when their fans or the family come up to you. I get it a lot, obviously, but she said, thank you for not knocking him out. and I just thought, do you know what? What it must be like for a mum. Because my mum's never watched me fight. And I said she can come, but I don't want her there. It's hard enough for Laura to watch me, bless her. But, you know, I wouldn't want my mum to watch me fight. Do you know? So for a mother to watch their son, it must, and to be fair, it's on YouTube, that fight. I'll send you a link to that.
Please
first
do,
fight,
yeah.
I do catch him with some corkers, like, and I can see why she was a bit thingy, and you'll see, and I'll wait for your comment on the fight. But a lovely lad, and like I say, when I boxed him the second time, we had a beer after, you know, of his mum, and just such a lovely lad. Like, I bought him a pant because. That's what I'm saying. He's the only opponent I bought a pant for Because to be fair, I was quicker than him. Do you know what I mean? He had to go see his mum and what have you. So I'd come back with a pint. He says, "Oh no, let me get you one." So I said, "Well, you can just get the next one." And then so we did that. So yeah, but it's the only what I can remember is the one I bought a beer for. You know, normally they buy me one, but it's just because I couldn't bother to wait, to be fair.
He's not as daft as I think, so that's Sam Melville. He knew what he was doing.
It might have just been hard and then going, he'll go.
But no, I like Sam. I've got a soft spot for him.
Yeah,
and I hope he comes back,
yeah.
you know, and because he's learning.
Because I can't remember what he does as a job, but he says financially he doesn't need to do it, to what I remember him saying. I think he's got a really good job, or a job that he's happy with, if I remember.
But I miss him not being on circuit.
Yeah.
We get in contact sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll give you a message tonight, mate.
Yeah,
You'll send me a link to that fight.
Yeah, of course I will, yeah.
And I'll score it a draw now.
Yeah. No, honestly, he's a lovely lad.
Yeah, top that. Good shout out to Sam.
Yeah.
But this fight here, I starred as well at Chepstow Racecourse.
Yeah.
How on earth did you end up in with Ashley Lane?
Well,
and at this stage in his career?
Well, it was a comeback fight, to what I believe. I remember. Well, this was a first because it was an horse racing course, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we got weighed in on the scales. Jockeys get weighed in, which threw us all off because obviously a jockey, when they get weighed, they have to get weighed with all the clobber on.
Yeah.
So I think there was like about £6 out or something like that. So I weighed lower than I thought I was, and he weighed very low. Like I think he weighed about bloody 2 stone. Well, not 2 stone, but what I mean is because there was that much difference in this. So he was scratching his head. I was scratching my head. There was a lot of head scratching going on until we realised, that it's because the jockeys get weighed in with all the stuff on, so they allow for, I think it's £6 or £8 in,
right,
with all the clobber on, like, because obviously they have to, as a jockey, they have to get weighed in before a race. They have to get, they can't be, well, you don't see a fat one, do you? Do you know, or a larger one, let's say. I could be one. Do you know what I mean? I might try it. I might be better at that than they am at boxing. You know,
they're that good, mate. No, not having that, mate. But yeah, I thought it was a bit of a funny one. Like,
yeah,
sure, a decent record.
He was like a bloody wasp.
What he?
Yeah, I didn't know where he was. Obviously, he's boxed at top level. Hasn't he? I think he was a British champ, if I remember. Not at the time, but yeah, I think I don't know what he's done since. I don't know if he's had a couple more. I don't know if he'd come back to see if he's still got it or see what he can still do. But yeah, it was like a wasp. He hit me and then was gone. Sanigan that's the promoter.
Right.
And that's who was Dwayne Winters.
Right.
Yeah, Sanigan.
We remembered him then, mate. We haven't forgot.
Yeah.
So we're going from Ashley Lane then, the Wasp. There's one person who I fought next to want a Wasp, who I bet come and met the middle at the ring. Kane Baker.
Yeah, yeah, that Birmingham, I think it was.
I want to hear about Kane because I'm a person. I'm a big fan of Kane.
That was, I think it must have been Christmas, so it must have been close to Christmas.
Yeah, 19th of the 12th.
There you go. So it was certainly a Christmas fight.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I took it. I think he wanted a win to get back where he is now, you know, back on them TVs and as he says, roll the dice. But my God, what a lovely lad. He come into the changing rooms. I mean, I wasn't bothered about the stoppage. It was just too big.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothered about the stoppage. I'm not taking nothing away from Kane, but what I mean is I wasn't bothered. It wasn't affecting no fights. You don't get nothing in January. So by the time February come, when I had fights booked in,
your 28 days
I was
were
28 days was over. So I ain't saying that I quit or anything, but do you know what I mean? I was happy to get out of there because it was just too big, too strong. And as you know, I ain't in that weight class anyways. But he come into the changing rooms. I want to say he gave me £100 and said, "Here, Merry Christmas." Do you know? Because he said I didn't want to stop you. Do you know? Bless him. And I said, "Don't worry about it." But yeah, he gave me £100.
What a guy!
He didn't have to do that. I got my wage, and he said, "Here, there's £100. Have a good Christmas." And I thought, because he is on the road, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a true warrior, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I've got him on social media, and they've got a camper van, him and his missus. And I love seeing, I remember when it was getting built, and I love seeing how it all...
I've got that. I've seen that as
yeah,
well.
how it's all come together, and I love the relationship, and they must go on right travelling. You know what I mean? It's just nice to see, especially when they're a nice person.
Yeah. And like he says, he just calls himself, doesn't he, a boxing fan with a license,
yeah, he does.
doesn't he? It's great.
Yeah, that's what he calls himself. I'm a boxing fan with a license. Yeah, that's his saying, isn't it?
And he
rolling the
dice. He's going to come on the show at some point. We nearly saw him, didn't we? We went to see Harv, but he just never come out. So, but after Kate, mate, we're going to go on to a victory for you, mate. Kieran Flanagan on his debut, mate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a funny one, that. I mean, it was his debut. So, I mean, that was one of them where I did everything in my power to not let that happen.
Yeah.
You just get some people what couldn't. I think I threw 2 punches and it fell down twice. Do you know?
Oh, bless him.
It's not, maybe they was just perfectly placed and stuff, but the first, I mean, how we got up from the first knockdown, I don't know, because looking at it, that's on YouTube. The first knockdown was, it hit him and it went straight back. But then the second knockdown, I don't know what went through his head, because, like I say, I didn't go in for the kill after I knocked him down the first time. You hear the bang, 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 this is the 4th round now. So all you had to do, you've heard the last 10 seconds bang, right? All you had to do, he could have ran around the ring, I backed off. He come in for a kill, do you know, to give it to me. So I just let another one go, and my God, it went down again. But I generally, I don't want to... I mean, if the lads don't get knocked down and I nick the win, they weren't good enough. But I don't want to knock a kid down on his debut twice to get the win. Do you know? Because I want them to have a good career. Yeah. And I want them to have a good start. Do you know what I mean? So if I beat them by points, then they're just not good enough. But to get knocked down twice on your debut, do you know, and like you say, people look at us with all our losses. Sometimes the board needs to look at some of the ticket sellers, let's say, rather than us lads who do it in our sleep.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, going on from that, we probably fought the biggest character in boxing, mate. It's been mentioned before. Jake Pollard fought him. Spider-Man himself, Brandon Scott.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Did he come down dressed for thee?
It was Dark Vader that night.
He went for Jake Pollard and all. He's a fucker.
Yeah. Hey, bless him. Yeah.
Retired on that, I've got, mate.
Yeah, well, it was a cut. This is what...
Right.
Do you remember...
We were yeah.
Yeah. You said... well, not you, was on my record, it says I got a cut against...
somebody early on in your career.
Yeah. Najab on it. Razak. And... but it wasn't stitches, so that's why I probably don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because you get cuts on your head.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. It's all part of the job. You know, I've given more stitches out than I've received. Let's just say that. And that is a fact.
100%.
But Brandon, he dropped me in the first. To be fair, he was just doing a flurry. I couldn't grab him. So I just went down because the ref... So instead of getting stopped, I couldn't grab him. He was just doing a flurry. So the referee, if I'd have tried to stay up, the referee could have jumped in. I thought, right, I'll just take a knee. I didn't take a knee to bottle it because I carried on. And then I'm getting into the fight. And then I think it was a second round head clash. And my first cut. Right?
How did that feel?
Well,
your first proper cut.
Well, it's the first time I've had a proper cut where... I mean, I don't know if you've ever had a cut where blood goes into your eye and you generally can't see. So, and it's the first time because of the cut, I've had to go and see the doctor. Do you know, the referee stopped the fight and I've had to go see the doctor. So that was a new experience. And they even said, because obviously I've never done it before, I even said to the doctor, I can't see, wipe it, which is not the right thing to say to a doctor because he asks if you can see. And I'm saying, no, wipe it. And he says, I ain't allowed to touch it. So I carried on that round. And to be fair, I thought, oh, well, I've got a cut. I'll have a go. And I was coming on strong. But and then I went back to my corner. It was my first cut. And Laura wasn't doing my corners then. I said to Glenn, look, is it 28 days? He went, yeah. I said, well, just, stop it then. I said, I generally can't see you. Stop it. Because if I was only fighting 2 or 3 times a year, you could take my eyeballs out.
Yeah.
And I'd carry on fighting. Yeah, you generally could. Yeah. But if I've got a cut and I'm going to get 28 days anyways, I want to be fighting after them 28 days straight away.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make that cut any worse than it ordinary is. For me, to get a cut, it's like, what's the point of going another 2 rounds? Do you know? And I ain't taking nothing away. Class kid, and he's got to deal with his own now with Eddie Hearn. But yeah, what a character. And he's actually got Tourette's, if I remember rightly.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's got, because I was speaking, I'm sure he said he's got Tourette's.
Bless him.
Yeah.
Well, so, not wrong. He's doing really well.
I spoke to him after. And nothing away from him. Do you know, I think it was his first fight. Or whatever, and he was telling everyone, yeah, I stopped him in the third. He didn't. I retired my son, but I could hear him telling everyone and stuff like that. But I don't take whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I said, to me, I'm getting 28 days. I want to fight after them 28 days. So I want stitched up, want it to wheel. And I want to be fighting again. So if I wasn't fighting again for another 6 months, I'd carry on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't bother for another round or 2.
Do you think he's going to get a British title?
Well, I think he's definitely... He's
definitely improving.
Oh, he's definitely up there, isn't he? So,
I hope he does. I think
I hope he does.
He's everything that boxing needs is Brandon.
Yeah, well, he's funny. He's a geek, isn't he? As he says himself, he is a geek.
Yeah.
A nerd or whatever he calls himself. I don't know, but...
Boxing nerd, doesn't he? Call himself?
Is a character like.
Definitely, we need him. Yeah, I like to keep an eye out for him, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll be one you'll look back at in years to come and think, I share a ring with him.
Yeah.
Jake Pollard will be the same, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he'd definitely come down as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
For Jake as well.
Well, that's what I remember looking at the manager and we was laughing. But that's what I'm saying. He is definitely one of the mad ones what has come out. But it's because he is a nerd or geek. He's proper. He is Star Wars mad and superheroes or whatever you want to call it.
Him. What a guy!
Oh yeah.
Now I'm going to finish your career. I know you've had a few fights after this one, but I think this would be good for us to end on.
Yeah.
We at Play to Me for first time at Barnsley Metrodome, mate. Yeah. When you fought Dempsey Whale, didn't we?
Yeah.
And didn't Laura come in then as well?
Yeah. Well, that's the first time Laura did my corner herself. She actually did my corner at Magna. This is where I give her the nickname Fastest Still Bitch.
Yeah.
Because Dave Allen asked me, can Laura come and help you do your corner? I said, of course she can. And Curtis was doing my corner because Glenn couldn't make it. I said, of course she can. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't even listen to Curtis. I was more bothered about talking to Laura through the fight, and I was having a laugh with Laura and stuff and blah, blah, blah. But then that Dempsey fight was the first fight she took me on. She wasn't training me then. She just took me. And my God, I was out of shape. And like I say, I'll send you that photo.
Yeah, please do.
Where they're next to each other.
Chris would like to see that as well.
Yeah, from where I was that night at weigh-in to what I was for my 100 fight, what Laura trained me for, was just, well, it's black and white, as I say, totally night and day, whatever the saying is. It was unreal. But yeah, that was a tough night and a mad night for Laura being from Barnsley, but being in the away corner. Yeah. But anyway, it was one of them. I saved the show. And you
did save the show.
Yeah, saved the show. The show wasn't going to go ahead. But yeah, the crafty buggers on the poster, I think they put me down, I was 36 years old.
No.
And I think I was
38, aren't they, Luke?
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. Well, I felt 48 that night, the shape I was in. But yeah, it was It was, I saved the show and I got an headache for it, you know. But I got paid well, and you know, eye opener for Laura at first. I think she was a bit nervous, but we got through it, and you know, and even now she does a cracking job. And I'm not the easiest to thingy with, only because you know, like the weight issues and stuff. And if I like to get my point across, and I ain't mad at air or thingy. It's, do you know, I don't like being messed about, and it's my health at the end of the day. And so, but we're a good team, and she's a lovely lass, and you know, I'm so proud of her, like what she does for the amateurs, and she's a mum, she works, how she does it all, we'll never know. Do you know what I mean? But a biggest achievement is probably looking after me, because it's not the easiest. So, you know, it's a big shout out to Laura for that.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you, Luke, mate.
Yeah, you both too.
And I'm sure we'll see you on the circuit this year,
yeah.
mate.
Well, like I say, when we're local, we'll draft you in.
Yeah, please do, mate. I'll carry it spit bucket for a $5.
Yeah, well, you'll see if you're faster than Loza.
God, I've got to put pressure on.
Well, that's it, you see. That's what I'll be comparing you on.
Yes, Scarfe, get stopwatch out.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes they aren't bothered if you don't put it in. Sometimes, so it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I dance, sometimes I sing, sometimes I sit down. We don't know. Even I don't know what Luke Fash is turning up some days. So, and healthy Luke Fash is now turning up, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, and what makes it, mate, is Luke Fash is special, mate.
Yeah.
And the game is a lot better with you in it, mate.
Thank you.
And it's great to see you.
Aye.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Back in shape.
Yeah.
We're on it now for this year, mate.
Yeah, it's a big year.
Big year.
Yeah.
Past the 100, 5 fights lined up already.
Yeah.
Between now and March.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to come and see you, mate. Again.
No, good. It'll be a pleasure. It'll be a pleasure to have you.
Are you going to come back on then in future?
Of course I am. I've loved it. Thank you very much.
A few more fights in.
Yeah.
I mean, quickly just touch on then. Have you got any goals, as in number-wise, or are you just going to keep going?
Well, do you know what? Like I say, before it even got going, I wanted to quit. And you know, I don't want to, you know, blow smoke up a bum too much, but before I met Laura, you know, because I think she's done 12, 13 fights with me now. But before Laura, I was at, you know, a bad place. So she relit the fire.
Yeah.
So before Laura, I was just turning up just for the sake of it. But now I'm turning up with a purpose, and I'm happy again, and I'm winding them up. I'm enjoying fighting. Do you know? I say I'm enjoying. I'm loving fighting again. I'm loving the game. I'm gonna go for a manager's license and get a few. I mean, I'd like to say a few Luke Fashes. You know, I wouldn't say there's many out there. Because like you say, there's some that think they can do it. Do you know, just knowing you've won and not getting a decision is enough for some people not to like it. Do you know, and telling your own family, you know, he lost again, and I did, yeah, but but look, this is why, do you know, and trying to explain to your own family, you know, like Laura's friends and family don't understand it. Like, oh God, you've took him all that way and he's lost again. And it's like the amount of people that don't understand what we do, and do you know, it's crazy.
The number of times we've had somebody say that very sentence.
Yeah,
you know, the people just don't understand.
Don't understand it. Boxing's a business. Our business is our business. You know, unless you're a world champion, then winning ain't paying the bills.
Yeah,
it's really not. Do you know? And you know, people can give 10, 15 years of their life and not earn what we're earning.
Yeah.
Do you know, they really can't. I guess if you're in it for the love, whatever, that's fair enough. But if you want to spend 10, 15 years of your life and let's say get nowhere and certainly get nothing out the game, then that's up to you. Mm. But I'm happy with what I'm doing. And we get to go all over the country, all over, well, you could say world, I guess, because I can fight anywhere. Yeah. And, you know, it's 3 weekends away for us and stuff. And, you know, we have some right laughs, and there's memories all over the country, and good memories as well. You know, what I'll take forever with me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I think there's still more to come in the Luke Fash story.
The story ain't finished yet. Do you know?
And that's why we need to get him back at some
point.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Luke.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
And thanks for bigging up Barnsley for us, mate.
Like I say, I'm from Hull, I'm Hull City, but I do follow Barnsley football. And I've always said to Laura, I'm going to have to take her to a game. But like I say, if Callum Simpson does get a fight there, I'm there. And if I'm on undercard, it's a win-win. I'm getting paid to be there. But I will, and I'll video it, or you can video it. I will get changed in them toilets.
I'm holding you to that.
And I will. Hey, that is a challenge to me.
And what a way to finish, mate.
Yeah.
Right, all the best, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.